Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character, random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see what the game has for me today. We've got the Speedy, which we've already done, and the Ogre. Ogre we have not done, so let's roll a weapon and see what we've gotten. We've got the Brick. Okay, so there's someone in the comments who's been asking for a bricks-only run for an unbelievable amount of time. Shout out to you, my friend. This one goes out to you. So, bricks. This is going to be a really tough challenge, I think. And brick is one of the weapons I'm most afraid of for these random challenges, because if it breaks at an inopportune time, it can really cause problems. Let's hop in and we'll use our bricks to see where we can get to. Ideally, we'd have rolled brick with a character that has a higher chance of finding weapons or really strong economy, so we can reroll to replace them if they break. But with this character, we're sort of stuck just hoping that we find enough bricks. I'm going to roll for harvesting here, and one more reroll. I don't think we need to reroll a ton, so let me just remind you what the Ogre does. We have lower attack speed and lower speed, but we get extra melee damage, and if enemies take double their max health and damage, which is easy to do with Brick, which has a very high base damage, at least in the early game, then they explode for part of our health, and it also scales negatively with our attack speed. So the lower our attack speed is, the higher the damage the enemies explode for. What this means for this character is that we want to have really high level bricks that can whack them for a lot of explosion damage. Let's reroll one more time, because I really think if we get harvesting going early, that'll be nice. Brick is also a very cheap weapon, so we should be able to find enough of them in the early game that we can get a decent number, although not if we don't ever roll any. Okay, we got one. Roll. Duct tape, I should probably consider locking, because armor's going to be so good for us, but I think we can find a better economy item. I'm going to spend a ton on rerolls here. I'm actually just going to spend all the way down on rerolls. It's really important with brick that we find a lot of them, because they're going to break, so we need to have as many of them as possible. I should also consider maybe going to just 2 level 2 bricks here, because when a brick breaks, the amount of money you get is based on its level. And so you want to... And scales very well with leveling it up, so you want to level up your weapons as much as possible when you're using this weapon. I should also try as much as possible to hit multiple enemies with every swing, if I can, in order to minimize the number of swings that we're taking, so that our bricks are less likely to break, and can kill as many enemies as possible without losing weapons. Let's take the melee damage here. It does cost me harvesting, which is a real cost, but increasing the damage of our weapons is important. And then we'll grab some more harvesting. I guess I will still take fertilizer. We should still be able to find 2 bricks. No, okay, so I don't have quite enough money to buy 2 bricks, but I can buy one and then lock one, and that should be fine. Do I want pencil? Brick scales 50% with melee damage and 50% with engineering. I think I am actually also going to combine to some level 2 bricks here. I'm not going to combine all the way to level 3, but combining to level 2 I think will just minimize the chance that we lose bricks, and if we do, then we get more materials so we can look for replacements more easily. I think I will take the pencil. It scales the base damage of our weapon. Engineering is also one way that we could have this character actually function even if we lose all our weapons, so we're going to be looking out for a lot of constructs if possible. I think if I try to play too paranoid around breaking the bricks, it's not going to help, so we should just try to burst down enemies by smacking them. If I could find additional explosion size, that would be huge, because then we will get the most possible money. Can we kill that? Nice. Getting the loot alien kill there was great. We also made a lot of money that wave for wave 3. Gummy Berserker, both range and attack speed are very good for bricks, but scaling our attack speed, of course, hurts our Ogre explosions. I think at the cost of armor, I'm going to recycle the Gummy Berserker here. We're also going to be at minus 20% movement speed, which is absolutely brutal, so we're going to need to fix that pretty soon. I'm going to take 2 armor, and then let's re-roll. Roll one more time. I'm looking for harvesting again, of course. And I'm going to roll again, because we made good money last wave. Oh, I really do... Okay, so I have to decide if I'm going to take the attack speed or not. The way that this character works, of course, is that our explosion damage gets lowered the higher our attack speed is. But attack speed is just so good for our actual weapons that maybe I should take it anyways. Because losing explosion damage, we can boost that just by boosting our maximum HP. And attacking this slowly is just causing us to take a lot of hits. So it's a really interesting question whether we actually take the attack speed or not. I think I'm going to try to lean into the Ogre's explosion damage and not take the attack speed. We'll try to attack really slowly and just trigger the explosions as much as possible. So I'm going to reroll one more time because getting to 21 harvesting is so valuable. And also, we had a decent amount of income last wave. We've got Brick, which is a high economy weapon at this point, though later on when it starts breaking frequently, it's going to be worse for us. So we can afford to reroll there to set up our economy a little bit more. Let's roll here, and of course we want the dynamite for explosion damage. Do I want to buy this now or roll for more weapons? I think I'm actually going to lock the dynamite and roll again, because I really want to buy at least one more brick. And then for 5, I'm going to reroll again. We're looking for more bricks if we can find them. Sharp Bullet will be really good if we get Construct, if we find Turret, which I'm really hoping to do on this character. But I don't think I can afford to spend 35 and lock the item and buy it now. So we're just going to go to the next wave. It just currently doesn't do anything yet. We also, so far, haven't had a brick break, which you actually want them to break in the early game and then really hope they don't later on when you're using this weapon. Because in the early game, they're relatively easy to replace. You have guaranteed weapons in the shop. In the late game, it becomes almost impossible. So, getting the early materials would be really nice. Also, of course, the materials are relatively more valuable in the early game. The amount that you get doesn't go up every level, but the amount that you have to spend on replacing them does. Here, I'm just going to take the regeneration. We are going to need to start building some healing pretty soon. Then let's reroll and see if I can get a level 2 upgrade. I'll take more harvesting, though. More harvesting early is going to be very helpful as well. Grab a dynamite and a duct tape. Alien Worm does increase my explosion damage, increases my regen. Currently, consumable healing is important to us, but I think we still want to build Alien Worm. And then we're going to buy a brick, upgrade a brick, and roll. And having a locked brick is really nice because then we can replace one if it breaks. I will also lock the Weird Ghost. We want to boost our HP as much as possible. And the Little Frog, because this early the harvesting is good. We're probably not going to end up building dodge on this character. And the pickup range is also useful since we currently have no way to pick up extra materials. Let's go to wave 5 and see if we can make some money. So currently, just because Brick has such high base damage, we don't need to worry that much about the base damage of our weapons to trigger the explosions. But the Ogre explosions, okay, there goes one of our bricks, so we're really glad we've got one locked. The Ogre explosions are not a tremendous part of your kit in the early game, because they just, there's just not enough enemies to actually hit, to chain the explosions across the map. I don't know why I was like losing track of what I was saying in the middle of that sentence. Need more coffee, I guess. Here we're going to take some more armor because we've actually gotten a lot of early armor thanks to the blunt weapon tag and just being having purchased armor pretty aggressively. So we are pretty well set up defensively with decent regen. Not super high max HP, but reasonably high max HP and the blunt weapon tag. We just need move speed. But move speed is most important against elites, and we don't have one till wave 17. So we actually have a little while before we have to invest super heavily in move speed at this point. got another brick locked. That's awesome. I'm going to roll again here, and small fish is great. This is going to help us trigger the ogre explosion because we want to be one-shotting enemies, or overkilling enemies, ogre killing enemies, as it were. Obviously, having bought Weird Ghost, I need to be a little careful not to just explode. But we do have 5 regen. Lost another brick there. Nice, got a crate. Trying to stack up these enemies. It's sort of hard not to kill enemies and let them stack up because of our super low movement speed. And I will need enough movement speed later on that even if we lose all of our weapons through a freak brick accident, that we can still just run away from enemies and use our defensive stats to survive that wave, because, of course, there's a decent chance in any given wave that we are playing with, like, 2 or 1 weapon, especially later on. I'm going to take the dynamite here, and I could start building luck. I could start building dodge. I think let's just take 15 luck. It's always relevant. And we'll take 8% damage, because, of course, more damage is going to help us kill enemies that much faster. We will definitely buy another brick, small fish and weird food, and then roll. We are no longer guaranteed to see weapons in the shop, so something that I should consider is, do I just want to lock any bricks that I see, like this one, and potentially just have an extra weapon for if we lose one? Do we play this like the baby? I think I'm going to buy this one, but I will probably, I'm going to lock any future ones that I see, so if we lose a weapon, we can then replace it immediately and not have to spend a ton on re-rolling in order to find more bricks. Alien Tongue, I am going to pass on, I think. Although we do now have decent consumable healing, I think this character just needs to find items that help a little bit more at this point. Let's do some re-rolling, and we'll take a coupon. Sunglasses is a way that we could have our bricks one-shot. They only critical for 1.5x, though, and it costs me armor, so I think I'm going to pass on the sunglasses. For 14 with an item locked, I'm not going to re-roll. That's just getting too expensive. So kind of a weak shop for us there. All we did was replace our weapon and lock another one, but we should be able to recover from that. The item I'm looking for the most is something like a fin, just something that fixes my move speed, or wings. Pocket Factory would be really nice as well to give us a non-brick way to kill enemies. I could also consider building into elemental damage with if we find a scared sausage, but I think that engineering is the more natural and easier choice for wave clear for this character. Killing that tree. And if we can get through this without losing any bricks, that would be awesome as well. Here, do I take armor, regen, or harvesting? These are all really interesting. I could also reroll and look for move speed to try to fix my move speed. This is a guaranteed level 3 upgrade, so of course, finding more move speed is good. But wave 7, I think we're just going to grab 10 harvesting and just make sure that our economy is still progressing. Here, we will upgrade our brick, and then I'm going to reroll. Buy another Weird Ghost and landmines. This is our first available engineering item, so happy to see that. We'll take a tree. Cursed Ugly Tooth I'll grab just for the curse, although losing even more move speed is definitely something that I'm concerned about. Boxing Glove, I don't think we're going to worry that much about knockback, and the 1 melee damage isn't that important to me, so I'm just going to roll past it. Snowball, if I had a scared sausage or something like that, I might consider it, but as is, I don't think we want it. Do I want Terrified Onion? Probably. I really need to fix my move speed, so 30 for 4% move speed, even at the cost of luck, I think is still pretty important. Even though it hurts my Ogre explosion damage, I am going to take the injection, just more damage. The more we one-shot enemies with our weapon attacks, the more explosions we get, and also the fewer chances there are for our bricks to break. Grab another Weird Ghost, that's great. Ice Cube is also interesting. We currently have no way to deal elemental damage, but if we find Scared Sausage to go with our landmines and potentially other constructs, the Ice Cube could be very good, but it requires us to hit enemies multiple times in order to trigger it and then get the benefit, which is not something that we're looking to do with this build, so I think we're going to pass on the Ice Cube for now. Alright, I had to step away to take a phone call, but we're back at it. Let's jump into Wave 8. Oh, right, okay, so I had Weird Ghost, which I had totally forgotten about because I stepped away. Having to stop a run in the middle, you always lose track of what you're doing, so hopefully we can get back on track shortly. I ran away from the anglerfish there because, of course, we had the Weird Ghost, and I did not want to just explode. Those guys are very dangerous, and we don't quite have the damage to kill them in one shot, so I was concerned about just taking a hit and dying. The chargers there are some of the most dangerous enemies. So Wave 8 on the Abyss is typically a fairly difficult wave, just to try to avoid taking a lot of damage from those guys and the Goblin Sharks. But if you just walk away from them, they don't charge at you, so you can get away with doing something like the Weird Ghost play that we did and still be fine. Here, I could take Engineering. Engineering, of course, scales the weapon damage of our bricks and also is good if we find more constructs. And I think I will just grab that, increasing our damage in that way. Very helpful, and of course it gives us a secondary strategy for when our bricks actually break. If only I could duplicate this fairy with the mirror, that would be really nice. But obviously we're super happy to find fairy. That just solves our healing problem almost entirely by itself. I will still buy the mushroom, and I'm going to lock the mirror for one reroll just to see if we get something cool that we can potentially duplicate. Do I want to duplicate a black belt or a gambling token? I think not. Black belt is probably worth picking up, but I don't know if I want to duplicate it. Let's just lock these two items. I think I probably will duplicate the black belt, actually. It's at a slight premium because it costs 110 for a 93 material item, but a 50% XP boost going into Wave 10 is going to be very helpful. Wave 10, you typically get a lot of money, so the mirror on the black belt is probably good enough. And we have a horde wave upcoming, so increased XP gain for that will be helpful as well. And obviously we can use melee damage on this character regardless. This is the wave where the Ogre explosions start getting really exciting if you've built up enough explosion damage on them, because they're going to clear out all of these enemies in a single swing. We've gotten, I will say, not to jinx it, but we've gotten very lucky on not breaking too many of our bricks yet. That has definitely helped this character not suffer from having... I mean, if you have bricks and they don't break, you just have a weapon with a 7 base material cost that does incredible damage. So if we continue to get lucky on that, then brick is just a really powerful weapon. Oh, can I kill this loot alien? Yes! Despite our super slow move speed, we got there before the end. Decomposing flesh, we have 26 regeneration and attack incredibly slowly, so the lifesteal is not particularly helpful here. Let's just recycle that. I'm going to take the 15 luck. We are about to reduce our luck, and the 9 move speed find is incredibly powerful for us. I will duplicate the black belt. We already decided that we were going to do that, so we're going to mirror double black belt by the baby elephant and the missile. And reroll looking for more weapons. Again, I'm going to lock this brick, or better items. Again, I'm going to lock this brick rather than purchase it right away. We don't really need to level bricks. As you can see, the damage, the base damage on this weapon is incredibly high regardless. So locking the brick here just ensures that even if we lose a weapon, we can rebuy one. We'll take the Dangerous Bunny and the Clockwork Wasp and then do a reroll. I'll lock Defective Steroids as well, and Ritual we're going to pass on. I think that one thing that's really important when you're using a weapon like Brick, or if you're playing a character like Baby that just needs to buy weapons every round, is to recognize when you should just lock a weapon and not buy it until the next wave in order to give yourself more safety. This is something that I talk about a lot in my guide to the Baby, in my guides to Arms Dealer and similar classes. So very important sometimes to just not buy everything you see. Sometimes having it next wave is going to be better than having it this wave. Now, that's an exception, of course. Usually, it's better just to buy everything that you see that you want, but there are some classes and some cases where that's not true. These are the most invincible bricks I've ever seen. I think we've lost like 2 so far this run. I've never gotten this lucky on brick not breaking, so hopefully that just continues. I'm going to take the propeller hat here. That will keep us with positive luck, and 20 more luck, sure. I will take that over the harvesting as well. Here, I could potentially start building dodge. This is our level 15 upgrade, so we are guaranteed a level 3. I could also reroll for movement speed or take armor. Or I could just build max HP to increase our ogre explosion damage. I think what we're going to do here, though, is just grab the armor. Between that and the regeneration now, even if we lose all of our bricks, we should be able to survive a wave. Having really strong defensive stats is really important for this weapon, because that way we can guarantee surviving the waves, even if we lose many of our weapons. Here, I will upgrade our brick, because I don't want to leave a weapon locked in the shop while we're re-rolling and buying a bunch of other stuff, so hopefully we just re-roll into another one. The Cursed Barricade is fairly interesting just because it's cursed, so I think we will buy this. Losing 2% speed, of course, a real cost, and the benefits are not that strong, but 5 curse is really good, so I'm going to grab that. Lumberjack shirt helps with our ogre explosion chains, so that's really nice, and I'll take Cyberball as well. Again, we are just looking for ways to kill enemies that don't involve hitting them with a brick, because it's so unreliable to do that. We'll take the wings and then reroll here. This is an interesting case for Piggy Bank because we're really strong. So I could potentially delay taking... I could buy Piggy Bank here and then not buy anything next wave and get a bunch of income from Piggy Bank. The problem with that plan is that if we then lose a bunch of bricks, I have to re-roll and lose a bunch of money, and I want to buy these wings anyways. So I think the piggy bank is just going to take, again, too long to pay off. Our economy for this character is already really strong with 69 harvesting, nice, and with all of our bricks, so I think we'll actually pass on the piggy bank here. But it is kind of interesting for this character because we have such an early game focused weapon in the form of brick. Mutation for 1 regen, 57 for a regen, and it doesn't really give me anything else. The elemental damage could potentially be relevant, but it's not right now. I think we'll just pass on that. So the piggy bank, typically you want to buy... Oh, there goes a brick, okay. Piggy bank, you typically want to buy if you are already strong and don't need to improve your character at all for the next several waves, so that you can build up a bank and then have it actually give you a return. Buying that on wave 11 is somewhat difficult because we are going into a horde wave, and with this character that has brick as its weapon, there's a very good chance that we have to spend our money in any given shop because we might roll, or we might lose all of our bricks and have to re-roll into new ones, which would cost us our piggy bank. So having that item and not getting stronger just seems like too big a risk to take at this stage of the game. I'm taking a lot of hits here thanks to my low attack speed, so the fairy really coming in handy there. I could now buy attack speed to try to mitigate that and just kind of give up on the ogre explosions. That might honestly be the play, but I think we're going to keep leaning into the character's gimmick, so we're going to pass on the attack speed and reroll. Reroll again here. Dodge wouldn't be bad for this character, but we've built such high negative dodge that I don't really want to start investing in it now. We'll take the luck and we'll take 9 max HP. That can help my ogre explosions actually kill stuff. Take a brick here, of course, and wings is great. That gets me to positive move speed. Take the boxing glove and then do a reroll. I probably should just upgrade this brick now because we're going into a horde wave, so I want all of my attacks to trigger our explosion damage, which means I need the base damage of my weapons to all be very high. So let's just upgrade here. Oh, I should have combined the 2 level 1s and gotten another level 2. I don't know what I was thinking there. And then we'll take the missile as well. That increases our explosion damage in multiple ways. Do a quick reroll. Glass cannon, I will grab. Our percentage damage definitely could be higher, and our armor is fine at this point. and then we will take landmines and cauldron, both of which will increase our clear speed a lot. So obviously we should have 2 level 2 bricks, or 3 level 2 bricks. We should have fewer level 3s and more level 2s, because I did the combinations wrong there. So this is a horde wave. I really need to not lose bricks early in the wave. So we're going to run away from enemies and wait for more to spawn. And then we can use our ogre explosions to clear out everything at once. Now that more enemies are spawning at once, one swing should clear a lot of the map with a single attack. And so that can minimize the number of swings that we have to make, and thus the chances of our bricks actually breaking. Which, the way that we lose this wave is if I attack too many times, hit those 1% chances, my bricks all break, and then we have nothing to protect ourselves with for the rest of the wave. One choice that I made earlier also that could maybe have been made differently is taking the alien tongue. We are leaving a lot of materials on the ground, so pickup radius could be helpful with that. We would also take a baby gecko. The reason for that, of course, is that we have the ogre explosions, so we're just leaving materials on the ground from those. Anyways, we made it out of the horde wave. We didn't even lose a brick, so that's good. We'll take more max HP. And yeah, I'll take another 9% move speed. Now we don't need to buy any more move speed because our move speed is now excellent. We'll take glass cannon. It does reduce my armor, but increasing our damage is really important. And then we'll buy all of these items. Here I'm going to lock a brick, buy a cake, and a dynamite. And then roll. And again, we're locking because we want to make sure that even if we lose one of these weapons, we've got another one for next wave lined up. Then we'll take wheelbarrow and lock weird food as well. I now need to boost my armor significantly because I've cost myself 4 armor in the last shop, which is a ton. But I think the harvesting, even this late, is still going to be quite valuable. Now that I have some move speed, I can actually stay away from enemies a little more effectively. Though I need to kill these buffing aliens because they're going to make my life really hard if I don't. Also, prevent me from triggering the explosions because they're going to increase the enemy health. Right now, our bricks are not one-shotting enemies and not triggering explosions on the higher health enemies. That's fine. As long as we have the ability to trigger it on the small enemies, then we're still okay. Explosion size would be so good for this character, and we haven't found any, so that would be such a huge upgrade for us right now. Probably the biggest thing we could find, because it would make our explosions the biggest thing on the map. Looks like we lost a brick somewhere in there. I wish there was a noise for the bricks breaking. I will take the mutation now, because it's just worth a regeneration, and 16 for a regen is really good. And let me re-roll here. Luck wouldn't be bad either, but I'm really looking for armor at this point, so we're going to take 3 armor. That's perfect. And then we will replace our broken brick, grab a weird food. Nail I will pick up as well. That just increases our weapon damage scaling and boosts our engineering for any constructs that we find, including the landmines that we already have. Here I will lock a level 1 brick. Again, I'm just trying to make sure that we always have as many weapons as possible, and then we'll take silver bullet and lock cute monkey as well. For 14 with 2 locked, I think I don't need to reroll, so we're just hopping straight into wave 14. Curse does have some negative synergy with the Ogre because it increases enemy health, so it makes it harder for you to trigger your explosions. But cursed items are just so good that you should always buy Curse. Okay, nice. We lost a brick, but I have one locked. As long as we don't lose like 3 this wave, we should be okay. You'll notice, of course, that the main thing we're doing this run is trying to mitigate the chances of losing all of our weapons in one wave and then just losing the game because we have no weapons. So we're trying to build alternate sources of damage. We're trying to make sure we have a brick locked in the shop at all times to replace them immediately when they break. There's another one that just died. And we're trying to make sure that we swing as little as possible in order to minimize the chances of losing our bricks. I'll take the acid here for sure. Losing 1 HP for 1 regen seems totally fine to me, so we'll grab that. And then I don't really care about the harvesting at this point, so let's reroll. Take 6 melee damage, but I think just the 2 armor is going to be more valuable. Our weapon damage is fine. We just need to find enough defensive stats that we don't die. We're going to take the brick here and the cute monkey, of course, for more healing, and then let's reroll. I probably, at this point, should only buy cheap items because I really want to roll into another weapon. So let's buy the book here. I'm going to pass on the insanity, and I think I'm passing on glass cannon as well. I would probably buy this, but I want the most open shop slots possible to reroll into another brick if I can manage it. We have negative crit chance, so can't use the hunting trophy. We don't need celery tea. Mastery would be good, but again, I'm rolling for weapons here because when you have fewer than 6 weapons, you just have to reroll until you find more of them. Frozen Heart, I don't think is enough damage to matter, so we're going to roll past that as well. Lighthouse is a ton of base damage for our weapon, so we're very happy to grab the Lighthouse here. We only have 2 construct items, so this is 18 engineering, and our weapons scale 100% with engineering on the level 3 bricks, so that's an amazing find and boosts our base damage a ton. And then I'll take the propeller hat and lock the jelly. Propeller hat's an economy item, so we want to buy it earlier. We go fight this horde now. And again, you saw there, I just didn't buy anything except weapons because I needed to make sure that we had 6 weapons going into this horde wave. So important to just re-roll in order to find as many bricks as possible. A lot of people hate brick as a weapon. I think it's a super interesting weapon. Usually you don't use it as your only weapon, but of course that's the challenge that we're doing here with the random runs. But as a supplemental weapon for other loadouts, I think it's really good. It's a great early game economy boost because of its incredibly high weapon damage and because eventually it's going to break and give you the money back, and then you just buy the weapons that you were actually looking for. The only downside of doing that is it makes more bricks and more blunt weapons likely to show up, but if you're a blunt weapon build already, bricks are just really good for enabling your character in the early game. Also, you can see now we've got our explosion damage, so we're just one-shotting the entire screen every time we swing, and because of that, we didn't break any bricks this wave. Mutation I'm going to recycle. We already have one, so it's not worth any regeneration from the fairy, and of course we're recycling Candle. Increased enemy spawns are even better for the Ogre than for other characters, because the whole point is you want to chain your explosions across the map, so the more enemies there are on the field, the better you do that. Here I am going to take percent damage over the melee damage and luck. I just increased the base damage of my weapons a ton, so I don't really need to do any more of that. Take the jelly. Feather 57 for a regeneration. Think we can pass on both Feather and Scared Sausage. Both of these are fine because we have the fairy, but neither of them give us stats that we actually care about at this point. The turret is really nice, as is Laser Turret and Clockwork Wasp. Very happy to grab those, even though that decreases our engineering with the lighthouse, so it does decrease my weapon damage a little bit. That just gives us extra clear speed if we happen to lose all our bricks. It'll lock this one, and I will buy Penguin. We still don't have any use for elemental damage, but do I want the campfire? I probably do. 100 for 2 regen. I think that's okay. And then I'll roll here and definitely grab a duct tape. Of course, we want more engineering and armor. And for 29 with an item locked, let's just go to the next wave. I'd like to get to like 50 or 60 regeneration before we fight a boss, because there is a chance that this character just loses all of its weapons in the first like 2 seconds when attacking the elites and bosses. So we really need to make sure that we have the defensive stats that we can pivot to just surviving rather than trying to kill them if we need to. And remember that every time a brick breaks, you lose the blunt weapon tag. So you lose armor from that as well. So some of our armor is sort of illusory because it can go away at a moment's notice. So we need even more armor than it says on the character sheet in order to make sure that we have actual safety with our defensive stats. Trying to kill these curse aliens. And we didn't make that much money wave 16 and didn't get that much curse, but we have 115 harvesting, so we're still doing fine, and that's why I invested in harvesting so much early. With our slow attack speed, as our weapon damage falls behind being able to overkill enemies and trigger the explosions, we're going to have waves where we make less money and just need the harvesting to make up for that. I am just going to keep taking max HP and just increase our explosion damage. Ooh, I do love the Excalibur here, but and, you know, it's a legendary weapon. I've done the legendary weapon exception a couple times on these runs so far. For this character, though, I'm going to stick strictly with bricks. I think it is fun to try to use this weapon exclusively, and I want to prove that it's possible. So we're going to roll past Excalibur. I have done a couple Excalibur runs already in this challenge, so if you want to see Excalibur, there are definitely some places that you can see that. We'll take the alien magic here, of course, and though that does cost me luck, it gives me HP and regeneration, which is exactly what we need. Leather vests, of course we will grab. Frozen Heart is, and we're actually at 0 dodge, so I could potentially start building dodge, because I found a couple points of dodge basically for free with the feather and the leather vest. Frozen Heart is now a little more interesting because our elemental damage has gone up, but I still think we want to pass on that. I'm going to reroll here, and I'll lock Scarf. Increasing enemy move speed is fine, and Lucky Charm as well, of course, for more luck is going to be good. I was really hoping to roll into a brick there. This is a very difficult elite, so I'm going to try to kill it and hope that our bricks don't just give up on us. Because this elite it's very hard to dodge its attack patterns, so we want to kill it if we can. Gonna back up just a little bit and wait for my regeneration here. We've lost 1 brick already, but hopefully we can kill it before we lose too many more. Oh, we've lost 3 bricks already. Okay, I didn't see that happening. So we're down weapons at this point, but we did kill the elite. And that's why I was concerned about fighting elites, because it just means a lot of weapon attacks that you're making, since they have a lot of health, which means a lot of chances to lose our bricks. Just run away here and just try to dodge, but I am still going to try to kill enemies here. I would like to not attack that much, though, because I need to replace these weapons immediately. Torture, of course, we're recycling. Our healing is much better than that. And then let's grab 16% more damage. Since I lost 3 bricks, I'm actually not going to spend on these 2 items. I will buy the Peaceful Bee. A regeneration and 4 dodge, I think, is worth it. But I gotta roll into more bricks. Okay, this is very lucky. We got much luckier than we deserved here and managed to replace 2 of our bricks immediately. Scared Sausage, we're still going to pass on, though. And again, we got very lucky to find all of these bricks. That is unusual on Wave 17 to find this many weapons and in the types that we needed. So, although we lost 3 bricks at once, we were probably, on average, not going to be able to replace all 3 of them in this wave, and we just happened to get really lucky there. I'm going to lock a brick here. And Alien Worm, I think I can buy again. I just want more regeneration. And then let's roll here. Butterfly, of course, lifesteal doesn't do anything, but the regen is maybe meaningful. But I think we can just roll past that. And we'll take a little muscly dude as well. Ball and Chain, of course, our weapons are attacking extremely slowly. So I'm going to buy the Ball and Chain here. This doesn't hurt us at all. And then we'll lock the little muscly dude and keep the brick locked as well. Going to Wave 18. Super lucky to find 3 bricks right away after 3 of them broke. That is, in 4 even. That's very unusual to be able to replace our weapons that quickly. So definitely feeling fortunate there. I think on the whole, we've gotten pretty lucky this run. Our bricks have not broken at really bad times. I mean, we lost 3 in that last wave, but only after the elite was already dead. And we didn't lose too many in the early game, so we weren't scrambling to replace them for most of the game. So I will say that this run might be harder if you don't get as lucky as we did here. think it's always good to acknowledge when you are getting lucky, because it helps you accurately assess whether something is likely to happen again next time you try to play that run or try to make that decision. Here I am going to... I'll just buy these 2 bricks and upgrade. We don't need to worry about keeping them locked, and I can get a free reroll. And now I can lock this one. We've got some upgraded bricks. We'll take the goat, of course, or the goat skull, of course. This is excellent. Grab a pencil also, and then do a reroll here. I'll keep buying alien worms, I think. Going up to 50 regeneration is a pretty big deal. And then I am going to reroll one more time. Stone skin is pretty nice for this build, and at this point we have 19 armor, so I can afford to buy the glass cannon. Now my goal is kind of to get my damage to the point where we can kill the elites in as few, kill the bosses in as few swings as possible, so that we have the least chance of our bricks just breaking and not being able to actually win the boss fights. So that's why we're upgrading our weapons. We are trying to buy things like glass cannon so we can kill the elites, kill the bosses as fast as possible. Even if I can only kill one before all of my bricks break, then we will still have a much easier time dodging for the rest of that wave. You could potentially just run away this wave and try not to attack in order to maintain 6 bricks, but I think we'll make enough money that we can, if not guarantee, make it very likely to be able to find enough bricks to replace them, especially because we have one locked in the shop. So even if I have a couple break this wave, I think we should be in good shape going into the boss wave. If we aren't, then we're going to just need to run away, but luckily we've been building defensive stats in order to make that possible. So that's the strategy of the build really coming to fruition there. I'll take the black belt just for the 3 melee damage. Again, we just want to kill enemies as fast as we can. And I could take the attack speed now. That is the determining factor in killing the bosses, and the explosions no longer matter for wave clear, really. So I am just going to take attack speed. Then we'll take 4 regeneration. And here we will buy our brick, stone skin, and glass cannon, and then roll. Weapons can no longer be upgraded or recycled, but we get 15% damage. Yeah, the not going into the last fight, obviously. We could roll into another brick here and be a little sad, but I think that that's totally fine. The Cursed Blood Leech I would be happy to grab as well, but we've got decent weapons, and we have 6 of them going into the last wave. I increased my attack speed just a little bit in order to make killing the bosses maybe a little more viable, and we've got great defensive stats in terms of our armor and HP and regen, so let's see if we can survive against the bosses here. I'm going to look for the whale boss, and I'm going to try to hit the whale boss or both of them exclusively and not waste too many attacks on other things if I can avoid it. Taking a lot of hits here, so I'm just going to back off. It's really hard with a weapon like Brick that attacks slowly and doesn't do that much damage not to take a bunch of hits from these bosses. And we are killing the bosses very slowly, so again, we're just going to back off here. I'm also dodging very badly in this wave. So we may end up not killing the bosses. That's totally fine. Our ability to kill them is usually determined mostly by our attack speed. And of course, our attack speed for this character is very low. So killing the bosses is a tall ask here. All right, we killed one, got our full heal, and then we're going to try to kill the other. I've also lost 2 weapons, which is slowing our kill speed on the bosses as well. So I'm going to back off again just to regen to full. One problem that we're having is just because our attack speed is so slow, we're also not killing the other enemies on the field very quickly, and let me just run away here. We're just going to let Snailian live, and we will just take our win with only 4 bricks. Maybe I could have killed it, but just staying next to it was costing me so much health. I was worried about just dying in that spot. And of course, we were losing armor as well as our bricks broke and everything. So just staying away and ensuring that we got the win seemed more important. Killing the whale boss meant that we took less damage because it just made the field easier to navigate. And then we were just able to survive. All right, so that is the brick-only challenge with Ogre. And that's I thought that Ogre was probably not going to be the most challenging character unless we rolled this weapon, which has a lot of randomness associated with it. So I'm happy to have rolled the weapon and gotten the win anyways. Let's take a look at our items here. We got an early fertilizer. Obviously, that always helps a ton. Triple dynamite, nice for our explosion damage. I'm pretty happy with the alien worms. They did cost me some healing, especially in the last wave, but just having more regeneration is really good. 285 saved on the coupon is nice. The fairy, of course, was absolutely clutch. Great find here that let us play much more aggressively in the mid-game. The baby elephant and cyberball didn't work out that well. We just weren't killing enemies fast enough with these items. Even with 69 luck, nice. But I think that trying to find other sources of damage to make sure we still had some wave clear, even if all our bricks broke, is the right way to play this character. So buying these made a lot of sense, especially then we could buy stuff like the turrets and landmines as well, and at least get some income, even if all of our bricks happened to break in a given wave. The nail helped. Silver bullet let us kill the whale boss a little faster, so very good there. 114 healing from the cute monkey. We actually ended up with very few economy items this run as well, just the fertilizer really, and then triple black belt. And our landmines dealt 23k damage, so those helped out as well. All right, that is a really fun one with the Ogre. I hope that you have enjoyed this run. And as always, of course, if you have, and shout out to my friend who's been asking for the bricks only challenge. Again, this one goes out to you. I think you're on day like 50 plus at this point, which is a lot of dedication. So I'm glad you finally got it. As always, my friends, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. And of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato random runs and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, friends. I'll catch you next time.